The following is an exclusive presentation of the Carolina Panthers and the National Football League.
Mills has a touchdown! Around the right side he does. McCaffrey leaps. Oh, touchdown! And we are going to the NFC Championship game. Taken down. Ryan Burns in trouble. Flicks it out of the backfield. Picked off Higley. Touchdown! Over the middle, intercepted Chin. Peppers coming back the other way. Leaping grab Moore. Touchdown!
Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the Panthers Huddle, powered by AWS. I'm your host, Kristen Balboni. You know, for a lot of people, Mondays mark the unwelcome return to work after an all-too-short weekend. But a Victory Monday, now that is something else. And for us Panthers fans, we got to experience our first one of the season. And if you're like me, maybe your coffee tasted a little fresher, maybe your Bojangles biscuit was on point, and that Monday morning rush hour traffic didn't faze you at all. Week 3 saw Carolina facing off against division rival New Orleans, and the Panthers picked up their first win thanks to defense, special teams, and the debut of a new offensive weapon. Let's see how it all went down in this week's Bojangles Rewind.
A few patches of Carolina blue skies peeking through. The Panthers will try to get that first win of the season. In fact, Carolina's last home win more than a year ago came against these New Orleans Saints. Give the fans something to cheer about. Get off to a good start.
100%. Stay ahead of the chains. That's the biggest thing.
They will receive the opening kickoff. Laviska Shenault waits in the end zone. Powers across the 25. Shenault, a big physical wide receiver, acquired from Jacksonville. The snap, Winston's pass, batted in the air, and incomplete. Jeremy Chin knocked it away.
I think the closer he is to the line of scrimmage, the better it is for the Panthers. Get him involved.
New stack to the right, handoff Kamara. Tried the strong side, tried to turn back. Ball is out, flag is down, picked up by Carolina. Marquise Haynes, 10-5, touchdown. The Panthers finally got that spark in the first quarter. It comes from their defense. Frankie Louvu causing the fumble, and it's 7-0.
We're kind of off throwing the football right now. Let's try to get the Baker on the rhythm, get him an easy completion.
Fires downfield to Robbie Anderson, and the Panthers in business.
A dart exactly right on Robbie's chest.
The snap, the hold, the kick. That's 25 in a row. Every day Eddie comes through. It's 13-0, largest lead of the season for the Panthers. May not be the prettiest offensive performance for both teams. For the Panthers, they've been clean, no turnovers. They haven't gifted New Orleans anything like they did last week with the Giants.
No, 100%. We're doing a really good job defensively.
A 30-yard attempt for Lutz. The snap, the hold, the kick, it's blocked. Gilligan falls on it, and this crowd roars. Winston takes the shotgun snap, edge pressure, and he's sacked. Jeremy Chin in the backfield. First and goal. Snap, handoff, Ingram sheds a tackler, powers into the end zone, and New Orleans is on the board. It is imperative for the Panthers to possess the ball in the fourth quarter. Mayfield in the shotgun, pumps. He's got Laviska Shenault, his first catch as a Panther. He's got the 40, 45, 50. Shenault off to the races. Skies in front, green grass ahead. Touchdown, Laviska Shenault. Welcome to Carolina.
I like that play, in case y'all were wondering.
He is a unit. I mean, he is built like a Mack truck. He's got speed. The Panthers get the breathing room back. Panthers have 8 on the line of scrimmage. This is J.C. Horn off the edge. He tips it, and the Panthers may have picked it off. The big fella, Derek Brown, comes up with the INT.
The most beautiful 300-some pounds I've ever seen floating in the air.
Mayfield just gets the snap off. Over the middle, here's Shenault on the drag. He's got the 20, cuts it upfield, 25, breaking tacklers, bulldozes across the 30. Laviska Shenault. Winston takes the snap, throws back in the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown by New Orleans. 2:22 to go, quarter number 4. Panthers closing in on their first win. The Saints cannot stop the clock, so the Panthers can run this down. There's the high kick. It
Don't
takes a
touch it.
bounce inside the 5, and it's going to be down at the 1-yard line.
What a pro.
17 seconds left, and the Saints down 8 and no timeouts. Winston navigating the back of the end zone, heaves it downfield in traffic. It's intercepted by J.C. Horn with 8 seconds to go.
The streak is over, finally.
A fan base that has been waiting to exhale, and the Panthers are in the win column for the first time in 315 days.
I ain't seen that end zone in a minute. Oh, Panthers win, baby. Let's go.
There's so much room for improvement. We haven't even come close to hitting any stride. Yes, Christian has had 200-yard games in a row, but once we can get the passing game working, it can be fun. I truly believe that.
Final score, Carolina 22, New Orleans 14. So good to hear Sweet Caroline once again.
This exclusive presentation of the Carolina Panthers television network is brought to you in part by Bank of America, official bank of the Carolina Panthers.
Hey, the victory, it's fun to celebrate the victory now because you guys did what we asked. You guys executed and you finished. But the real victory was what you guys did this week. Okay, you guys battled back, you hung together, you just kept getting better. At the end of the day, we're just kept getting better, and we're becoming a better and better and better team. That was an unselfish team. That was a bunch of brothers out there fighting their ass off all the way to the very end, and that's a competitive team. They fought back at the end, but you guys made one more play. From the freaking hands team to the freaking special teams to the offense to LaVisca showing up to the freaking where's Haynes at? Haynes scoring a damn touchdown.
Hey, I'm proud of everybody, you know what I'm saying? Everybody did what they had to do. You know, it wasn't perfect. There's no such thing as perfect, though. Everybody might have had 1-2 plays, but we did what we had to do. Now let's keep this going, you feel me? We ain't win the Super Bowl, you feel me? We won one game, you feel me? We got to keep it going. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Hey, one more thing. Hey, on the side of the D. On the side of the D, Hey, check me out. We played a hell of a game, but we got to ball for 4 quarters, you feel me? We can't let that. We could have left that with 0. But other than that, we're going to celebrate this.
Hey, game ball, go to Coach Rhule, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Family on 3, family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Family.
Welcome back to the Huddle. We just saw the Panthers give the game ball after the Saints win to Matt Rhule. Coach, what a win for this team. What was the biggest step that you saw this team take in week 3?
I think finishing. We've had the first 2 games come down to the last 5 minutes. Even in this game, the Saints challenged us, went down and scored a touchdown. But I saw our guys at the end of the game, run the ball, punt the ball down, intercept the ball, do the things it takes to win an NFL game.
You were talking about some of that stuff here last week. I said, what step do you want to see the defense take in week 3? And you said, we've got to create turnovers. You had 3 of them and some opportunities for some other ones along the way. What do you think connected, or what was different in that game, and how do you build on that going forward?
Yeah, I just think, I think we went into this game knowing we had to stop the run, wanting to be aggressive in the passing game. And at the end of the day, our players made plays. They executed their assignments and then, were themselves in the X's and O's. And, that ball doesn't come out because of a scheme. Frankie reaches in there with his arm and rips the ball out, and Marquise scoop and scores, and JC bats the ball and Derek lays out. Those are the great efforts that make it exciting to watch this game.
Offensively, what do you want to see from this team as you head into week 4 and beyond?
Yeah, I want us to continue to build off the rushing game. I want us to continue to build off of the way that we're protecting the football. And at the end of the day, I want us to continue to be explosive in the passing game. To me, the key is just converting third downs and staying on the field. The simple act of dropping back, protecting for the quarterback, and completing balls in crucial situations. We have the guys to do it. We're close to getting it done. It's happened at times, but I think we can just become much more consistent.
And as you look at the opponent this week, Kyler Murray, someone who you know very well, have plenty of experience with, what makes Kyler Murray Kyler Murray?
He's just a dynamic athlete and a great quarterback. He sees the game, he calls the game at the line of scrimmage, great anticipation, can make all the throws. But at the same time, he also runs around the field, can change the game with his feet. And so anytime you have that type of dual threat, it changes how you play defense. You have to account for his ability to run the football and extend drives. And so he plays in a great system with Cliff Kingsbury. They're explosive, and we're going to have our work cut out.
And finally, Coach, Week 4 is also the Keep Pounding game. Sam Mills will be honored at halftime and certainly all throughout the stadium all day long. What does that phrase, keep pounding, mean to you?
You know, I think it's really the ethos of the Carolina Panthers. And to me, at the end of the day, everything in life is measured by how you respond to things, both good and bad. And I think when you hear the words that Sam Mills uttered, you see the way that he embodied that in his life and the way it's carried on, and not just this organization, but within this city and the community, to always keep moving forward, to always, strive to be at our best. I know that resonates with our players, and it's certainly what we're going to do on Sunday.
Beautifully said, Coach. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
Closed captioning for the Panthers Television Network is provided by Charlotte Eye, Ear, Nose, and Throat Associates, helping you enjoy the sights and sounds of the NFL all season long.
Baker manda sus números, tiene tiempo, se deshace de la pelota, le entrega.
La Vizca.
La Vizca va a romper por fuera.
¡Vamos!
La viste.
¡Vamos!
A la 15, a la 20, a la 10, a la 5. Métete la Vizca.
Hasta la Vizca.
Métete la Vizca.
Hasta la Vizca.
Hasta la vista. Touchdown. 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 La Vizca, hasta la vista, confetis y serpentinas, con fuegos artificiales, con chispas encendidas. Báilale, 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 y si vas a bailar.
In this week's Coke Community Spotlight, the Panthers made surprise visits to local nonprofit agencies to share the good news that they were being rewarded with a Panthers Charities Community Grant. 65 nonprofit agencies throughout North and South Carolina received these awards. The Carolina Panthers are proud to support the meaningful work of our region's nonprofits and the many ways they serve the critical needs of our community. Welcome back to the Huddle. I am here with Panthers legend Thomas Davis. TD, it is good to be talking about a win. The Panthers came out on top of the Saints. What did you see from that game? What were the biggest keys to success?
I think the biggest keys were we finally got some turnovers. Whenever you get turnovers as a football team, it creates extra possessions for your offense, and it does so much for the momentum, not only for the players, but when you get the fans excited about turning the ball over, it just boosts the energy in the building. And I think that was one of the biggest difference in this game ultimately.
Started with Frankie Louvu punching that ball out. Marquise Haynes got the scoop and score. And you said, look, we got to talk about Frankie Louvu. We got to give him some love. You have been a huge fan of his since he got here, since before he was even able to show what he could do on the field. You were like, hey, you got to keep an eye out for Frankie Louvu. You told all of us on this show. What have you seen from him so far this season?
He's lived up to the expectations. He's gone out, and when you see a guy taking advantage and making the most of the opportunities. That's what Frankie was doing. He was primarily a special teams player last year, and he just kind of made it to where the coaches couldn't keep him off the field. And that's what you love about a player. When they bring excitement, they bring energy to the field. And I said it last year on this show, how Frankie reminded me of how me and Luke and those guys went out and we performed. We competed. We played hard. We played fast. And that's what Frankie does. And when you see him week in and week out continuing to make game-changing plays for this team, man, I just love his story. I love the way that he's come along, and I'm just really looking forward to seeing him. If he continues what he's doing right now, we'll see his name high on that Pro Bowl ballot.
Want to talk to you about another guy who made some plays on the offensive side of the ball, Laviska Shenault.
Yes.
And I just want to make sure everyone knows that is how you say his name. We got to get used to saying it because we're going to hear it a lot. It feels like he made his debut as a Panther and was just awesome. What did you see from him?
I saw a guy like we just talked about with Frankie, making the most of opportunities. He got an opportunity late in the game. First time touching the ball, taking it to the house. Next opportunity, a big third down, converting on that, keeping the chains moving. Those things are important. And when you have a player, like if you look at his build-up, he's made a lot like a DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey type build. Like he's a receiver, but his stature is like you know what? The best comparison I can give him is to more like a Deebo Samuel. When you look at what Deebo is able to do, those are some of the ways that we can use Laviska. Like get him the ball out of the backfield, get him the ball on swing passes, however we can do it to create extra plays in this offense, have another dynamic player. We traded for him for a reason. Now he's gone out on the field and he's shown he can be counted on, so we have to do it.
All right, I like to hear that. That's what we want to see over the next few weeks is finding creative ways to get Laviska Shenault involved in this offense. We'll be keeping a lookout for it. But TD, I'm going to keep you around because we are going to go inside TD's film room when we come back. So don't go anywhere, everybody.
This exclusive presentation of the Carolina Panthers Television Network is brought to you in part by Bank of America, official bank of the Carolina Panthers.
Talk about Kyler Murray and the challenges he presents for this week.
As we know, he's very mobile. He's also a good quarterback. But his biggest problem that he gives a lot of offenses is that he's able to run the ball and really hurt you with it. So that's one of his biggest threats.
Did y'all see the play?
I saw the play.
Yeah, we all seen the play. So that's what he able to just extend plays with his feet. He can throw the ball as well. So with a guy like that, you just have to play all the way throughout the down and make sure we can try to bottle him up as much as we can.
We were just kind of talking about it earlier. Like in the back end, you got a placer when the quarterback scrambles. You probably don't expect to cover that long, so it makes it a little bit difficult for the back end. And then on the front end, you just got to continue to create that pass rush for as long as he's back there running around. So.
Welcome back inside TD's film room with TD. Let's talk about the Cardinals, right? They are coming to town. The Panthers are trying to keep this win streak going, but they are going to have to face Kyler Murray. Did not have to face him last year when the Panthers had that big win over the Cardinals. So if you're in that defensive room, if you're game planning, what are you telling your guys about what to expect from Kyler?
Kyler Murray is a dynamic player. He's a guy that can run around a lot. He improvises a lot. And one of the things that we're going to get ready to show you, if you allow him a ton of time, he's going to make something positive happen for his team. He does a really good job of improvising and getting out on the pocket. Most guys, you try to force them out of the pocket to throw the ball downfield, but Kyler Murray is a guy that has accuracy outside of the pocket. He does a really good job with that. So that's not necessarily what you want to do with Kyler Murray. We're going to jump right into this play. This is a 2-point conversion for them to try to extend the game against the Raiders. They were down the whole time in this game. And when you look at this team, right, sometimes as players, you got to overcome coaching. You cannot invest all the money that this team has invested into these two guys. Chandler Jones, Max Crosby are two of the best defensive ends in this league when it comes to putting pressure on the quarterback. When you have a guy like Kyler Murray, you cannot just sit back or drop these guys in coverage. Let's let this play roll, and you're going to see what Kyler Murray do. And I want you at home with your time, I want you to count and see how much time he has. As guys on the back end, we cannot cover this long. And then you have guys that are 300-plus pounds trying to chase after a guy that's so quick in Kyler Murray that they'll never be able to catch up. Just watch how long these guys back here are trying to cover. And that's one of the things that he's able to do with his legs once he gets out of the pocket. So you cannot allow him that much time to run around.
So now we are going to see what a defense can do to contain Kyler Murray, correct?
Absolutely.
That's what you brought for us here.
This is exactly the way that you're supposed to defend a guy like Kyler Murray that loves to escape the pocket. If you watch these two guys right here, I'm going to draw it up. These two guys right here on the edge, they're out here, and they're going to keep him contained. They're going to really collapse these edges and force Kyler Murray to stay in this pocket, right? So once he stays in the pocket, you can force him into bad decisions. He's going to try to do what he loves to do. He's going to try to escape the pocket once he feels the pressure off the edge. But by that time, it's already too late. You see Bobby Wagner being a pro. He has this guy, but he knows that this guy is not getting out for a route. So he turns it into an extra rush, sort of like a spy type situation. We know we had a spy situation with Thomas Davis, Michael Vick, long time ago. That's the kind of situation we got to have right here. We got to keep eyes on Kyler Murray at all times and not allow him to escape the pocket. And that's how you come up with sacks against a guy that's so elusive, so athletic like Kyler Murray.
All right, TD, this was incredible. Learned something as always. Always appreciate your time with this. I want to ask you about the offense. We have not talked about them a lot outside of Laviska Shenault. So we know what the defense needs to do to get a win against the Cardinals. What do you want to see from the offense this week?
You know, with the offense, we have a ton of talent on this offense. When you look at DJ Moore and what he brings, you look at Robbie Anderson, what he's capable of taking the top off of any defense, and obviously Christian McCaffrey is one of the top backs in this league. We have to get some kind of continuity going. We got to get in sync when it comes to Baker Mayfield with the accuracy. He has to feel comfortable with having time from the offensive line. And listen, we were able to win a game with the offense not hitting on all cylinders. Just imagine how good this team is capable of being once we put it all together. That's one of the things we're looking forward to, and what better time to do that than facing a team like the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, unfortunately, that is all the time we have for today, but be sure to tune in this Sunday as the team hosts the Arizona Cardinals right here at Bank of America Stadium. Fox will have the TV coverage for you, and you can catch me and the rest of the radio crew on 99.7 The Fox locally. Sunday against Arizona will also be our Keep Pounding game. The Panthers will be honoring the football and coaching career of Sam Mills, his legacy through the Keep Pounding mantra, and the community joy of celebrating the induction of the first true Panther in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. You do not want to miss that. So on behalf of head coach Matt Rhule, on behalf of Thomas Davis and our entire Huddle crew, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time right here inside the Panthers Huddle.
Keep pounding.
You've been watching the Panthers Huddle, a copyrighted presentation of the Carolina Panthers and the NFL.